Hey guys, welcome back to Godly Giggles with Steve and Mo, where we show you that you can serve Jesus and still have a fun-filled life. Today is episode 21, right?
Yes.
So we're in the top
0.1%.
Yes. Yep, we are.
Top 10%.
Okay.
That's super close to 0.1%.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you move the decimal over, then it's 10.
Yeah.
Because I am
and
good
this
at math.
is our trophy. Yeah.
It's our trophy right here for making it to 21. So great. Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So, what did you do this week?
I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made 5 checklists of what I did this week.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Did you make a checklist?
Mm-hmm.
Because
I didn't do anything this week at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I did things, but not like stuff that needed a checklist.
I went to work.
Oh, okay. Tell me what else you did. Keep going.
I worked on vacation Bible school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I made a really big poster that my husband didn't like. He redid it.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It was too big.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great because, like, everybody could read it. We could see who was signed up. You know? Like, couldn't miss it.
You should just make it on a wall. Like, make it as big as a wall, and then people can just come up and write it down.
Write their name.
So
really
nobody
big.
Forgets, yeah.
Yes. And then we'll all
so they
know,
can't
like,
say,
who's serving,
I didn't
too.
know where the sign-up sheet was. It's on the wall.
Mm-hmm. But you couldn't miss mine. So we have a new sign-up sheet now. So if
small.
you attend the Church of Joy, make sure you sign up. We're going to talk about it on Sunday. But the sign-up sheet is on the welcome desk, and we need your name on it.
Yes.
Like, your name. It has to be on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked on Vacation Bible School. I taught children's church on Wednesday night, and it's so fun. It's a new month, and so it's called The Big Picture. Mm-hmm. And so we're actually filming a movie every night every Wednesday night the month of March. It's so cute.
Cool.
So on Wednesday night we did Noah's Ark. So your brother was actually Noah and all the kids were different animals.
That's so
come
funny.
onto the ark. And so at the end of the month I'm going to put all 5 clips together
so
that
like
we have
all
like a
different
movie.
Bible stories.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be different Bible stories. So I thought that would be cute. So we did that. We decorated. I made Josh help me because you were unavailable.
Yeah.
That balloon arch needed some assistance.
The colors are so weird. Like the signs are purple, but then all the decorations.
That's for Sunday mornings.
Okay, I was confused.
Because I did Sunday morning in the hallways, and then Wednesday nights in the back on the bulletin board. I made that one Wednesday night, and I even put Wednesday night kid ministry.
Okay,
so it would kind of like separate. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So it would kind of separate them. That way, people would know like they're 2 different series. Unfortunately, because I cannot find a curriculum that has a 2-day a week. I don't know how to say this. Sermon series.
Yeah, like that has the same thing kind of for Sunday and Wednesday.
I mean, there's enough Bible stories that somebody could create this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have been doing it for like my Wednesday nights. I've been doing it again on Sunday morning for Sunday school because there's so many like awesome activities that I don't get through them.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it in my Sunday school class because I have a couple kids who come to Sunday school but can't be here on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
So like they're hearing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Too. And that's important to me too.
Yeah. And a lot of the Bible stories everybody's already heard.
Yeah.
At least once. But it's the repetition that keeps it locked in your brain.
Exactly. And so I've been able to use like the stuff that we didn't get to on Wednesday night just because time literally disappears on Wednesday nights. And so I've been using it for Sunday school on Wednesday mornings too. So I'm getting like 2 out of it without it being the same exact kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because most of our Sunday kids are the same Wednesday kids.
Right.
And then I had more work. And then I do need to tell you something.
Okay.
Do you remember I told you that the foster boys were going for a visit today? Did I tell you that? I told you that last night. Yeah. Well, they canceled it 15 minutes before they were supposed to leave this morning.
Oh.
Yes. I had already given like baths ready to go, you know? Yeah. I was,
Were they getting picked up? Oh,
this was their first time getting picked up too
know.
in a year. First time getting transportation to take them for the visit. And they canceled 15 minutes before pickup.
Or the other
No,
part?
it was the other party.
Oh.
Unfortunately. Yeah, so I was like a little bummed out just because I did a lot of work to get them ready to be picked up at 7:45.
Oh my Lord.
And so it's fine. I had to do it all anyway, but I didn't have to do bath and like bathe and dress them ready to go for the day at 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah. What time do you have to go to work?
My first one was at 9 this morning.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, which is very odd for a Saturday because normally it's at 7 or 7:30. Yeah. So, but I felt like that was another job before just getting them ready. Just because, there's a lot to go into getting them done. Don't be yawning. No, it will be contagious and we're going to be over here sleeping.
No, we're good.
So that was my week. I don't think I had anything else.
Okay.
Like crazy exciting.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah. No. Did you have anything?
I didn't do anything hardly this week. I did a lot of stuff like the weekend because...
Well, today is... It's still the weekend.
I know.
Okay, you go ahead.
Because I didn't work at all this week because the twins their dad was sick.
Okay.
So I didn't have them. And then I just babysat on Thursday. So I had nothing else to do any other day of the week.
What did you create last night?
Oh, yes. So last night I created a business and a website and like a little...
Who gave you the idea?
You.
I just want to take credit for that. Go ahead, just in case you become rich and famous.
Yeah.
And I'm your hairdresser too. Don't forget that.
So it was finals week for my college, and so I knew I was gonna have to stay up and like work on it because so normally our finals week are a week and a half because we have finals on top of our normal schoolwork that week.
It's finals right now
for college
in March.
Yeah, because it's like spring break because it's on the quarter system.
Oh, quarters.
So
okay,
it's like college spring break is coming up week.
Gotcha.
So normally our weeks, because it's like we have weekly work, and so it starts on Sunday and it ends on Sunday. But for finals week, it starts on Sunday and then the next Tuesday. So we kind of have like a week and a half to do it all.
Yeah.
This week it started on Sunday and it ended last night.
Oh, well, you got it done though, right?
Yeah, I did.
Like last week. Is that the class that you like started early and you told your mom that you were already done? No.
Oh no, that was
just schoolwork.
No, that was like last week's because it's like each week is don't touch over there. Each week is like new stuff I have to do and the due date and stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I was gonna be
so like I had to redo everything this week, but I had finished half of it one day, but then for my accounting class, the quiz and whatnot closed apparently at 9:00 in the morning, but it didn't say that anywhere, and so I emailed the teacher and she opened it because it wasn't supposed to be like that.
So I finished just like error,
and I passed all my college classes with like 87s and 85s,
awesome,
which is good enough for me.
We'll take passing's passing.
Yeah,
whether you pass with a 87 or 98, like
Okay, so I did that and I started a business. It's called Molly's Balloon and Banner Company.
Cute. Yeah. Love it. Who gave you that idea too?
You. And it's all orange.
Full credit for all this. No, just kidding.
It's all like orange and pink on the website.
Oh, I should tell my husband to make you a logo.
Oh yeah,
you could have a disco ball with a balloon arch going around it that's orange.
That would be so cute.
That would be so cute.
Yeah,
and it goes through and it goes through the O in Molly. Do you know what I mean? Like your O could be the disco ball, and it drape up like this.
So smart.
Yes, and he's gonna make it so then we're gonna be famous too because he designed your logo.
Yeah,
when you're famous.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. This is good. I'll make sure to tell him.
Good idea. So I did it, and a lot of it was like pictures and stuff of me, but I realized I do not have a lot of pictures of me where it's not like me taking a picture of my whole self in a mirror or something. So
did you take a new picture?
No, because it was in the middle of the night, and so I'm not about to get up and make myself look presentable. But no, so I found a few.
This was like 2 a.m. last night, y'all.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was like 2 a.m. But I'm getting senior pictures taken on Wednesday, so I was just going to use some of them and put them on there because they'll be like professional and cute. But anyway, so I did that last night, and then also last night I posted this on our stories, but I went to this place called Seven Brew in Macon. We didn't even know, but it's like a drive-through coffee. So like they have nothing come in.
Like a little building,
been
right?
there?
Well, they're all over Washington State.
Really?
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like literally everywhere, like more than Starbucks. And it
That's
looks like a
crazy.
little log cabin. Like it's tiny, little, like it's just big
And
enough
they
for
were
2 people
having-
maybe.
Yeah, they were having a BOGO, which we didn't know, and we just wanted some like coffee or something sweet. So we got buy one get one free, and I got a mocha, like an iced mocha. It was the best mocha. Like
was
it wasn't
good?
bitter. Starbucks's is too bitter. Like it's not as much sugar, and maybe like I should tell them to add like whatever
Yeah.
sugar syrup in it. But this one was perfect. It kind of tasted like a little milky, but it was like creamy, and it was just so good.
Mocha-y.
And it worked. It had caffeine in it because it kept me up till 2:00 in the morning.
Wow. Yeah, I never pulled into one in Washington State because they were all over the place, and I was just like, that's just so odd. It's like this little lawnmower shack.
Yeah, they have
know what I mean?
stuff
Like-
like Pirate Nutrition too. Like Lila got an energy drink, but it's like it's not a tea, but it's like it had caffeine in it, and it was like mango flavored, and it was like a little caffeinated, but it had like other
Ooh.
stuffs in it, and so it was so cool. They had so many
That's
things to choose
awesome.
from.
So
Yeah.
maybe we'll go to Macon and try it.
Yeah, we need to.
Or we can go to Washington State and try it. I'm totally down to go back there.
Of course, yeah.
It was beautiful.
Okay, so I did that. Last night I also went prom dress shopping, which literally sucks. I
Any
hate
luck?
prom dress. No.
No.
I tried on one dress and it was so ugly. And it was like $700. Yeah. It was so
What?
ugly. Yeah. At Dillard's.
Jeez, that's a lot of money for Dillard's.
It was so it was terrible. And I just
What'd you put it on for?
well, because I had seen one like it before. My mom was like, just try it on just to see if you really hate it, and I hated it.
Do you know that prom is only like 3 weeks away?
Yeah. Lila got a dress.
Did she?
Yeah.
What color's hers?
Green.
That's my girl.
It's like
She's got
ugly
a
green too, like your
earthy-
color green.
Earthy vibe with
My
me.
mom hates it though, and she kept making poor Lila feel so bad about it because you can't
tell her I
return
love it then.
prom dresses at Dillard's.
Oh,
and
so your mom's like, it's this one
Yeah.
or not? Like,
yeah, and so she was just like,
know.
and just making her feel so bad about it. I was like, it's literally cute, like for Lila, not for me. So like, just leave her alone.
oh, well, hopefully she'll grow into it. Your mom will, because
Yeah.
obviously Lila likes
I was
it,
like,
so.
she has 2 more. It's very simple, and I was like,
Lila's her sister, by the way.
yeah, and
They're
I was
both
like,
going to prom together.
right, because this year she's too young to go, so she's going as like my date, so we can really go together.
Oh,
So, but I'm like, she'll have 2 more years of like her actual prom to dress like in ruffles or sparkles, which she's
Yeah, that
probably
is not her.
But
anyway.
you know, a little more something a little nicer than hers. But anyway, okay, so I did that. I got a haircut on Tuesday. I got a fresh little bob.
Yes.
And I
By
got
me.
it dyed. Yeah. And I got the cutest outfit for senior pictures. I've been like freaking out
Did you
about
get the
what
Free
I-
People stuff?
Yes. I got this cute
Love Free People.
purpley
It's our
shirt.
favorite brand. Almost ever. Almost. Like there's a few that are up there.
Yeah.
But we do love some Free People. All right. Just a
Yes.
shout out to them in case they want to send us a cool shirt.
Oh yeah, for
We'll
sure.
wear it.
All the time. And it was on sale, which is even better because they're a little pricey. And it was
Yes.
great. And so I got that and a new pair of just like regular denim jeans that don't have any holes in them, so I can like dress them
Oh,
up.
yay.
And it's going to
Those
be
are
so
so
cute.
hard to find, too.
I know. And they were from Old Navy and they were on sale, so it was only like
You-
$40 altogether.
For your whole new senior
Yeah,
outfit.
it was perfect.
Love it. Doesn't get any better than that one.
Yep. And I also got a new watch. Did you see it?
You got the shark one?
No, it's off brand,
Oh.
but isn't it cute?
Why you gotta tell me it's off brand? Just say yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't want to
Yeah,
lie.
girl, that's it. That is very cute. I love the
Thank you.
colors.
I got it because for Italy,
Where'd you get it from?
Amazon.
Oh, it really looks like the real
I know.
one.
But my mom didn't want to spend like $60 on a digital watch. And I was like, that's valid. So I just looked up and like researched like a dupe that looks just like it.
It literally looks just like it. How cute.
And so I got it for Barnabas in Italy, so I don't have to worry about like charging my Apple Watch and like
Yes.
changing the time for wherever I'm at. So I can
or
just put this
frying
on.
the battery because
Yeah.
the conversion or whatever.
Yeah. So I can put this on. I can set alarms for it and stuff, so I can wake up at camp and stuff. So it's cute and I love it.
That's awesome. Thinking ahead, already thinking about. Well, never mind. You leave for Italy in a couple weeks, so
Yeah,
never mind.
like
That's
a
good
month.
thinking ahead.
Wait, what day is it? Yeah, like less than a month.
Awesome for spring break, and I'm just gonna be left here without you. Well,
Yeah.
actually, I'm going somewhere too without you, so it's fine.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
ask me where because I'm
Oh.
not sure yet.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
how we
'cause
roll.
You got to be back in time to teach on the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you'll go like after
I'm
Sunday.
gonna leave after church on Sunday and come back just in time for church on Wednesday to
Oh,
be able to teach.
fun.
So I gotta be like on top of my stuff to make
Yeah.
sure I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't have to be.
I'm coming
stressing.
right back from Italy
And going to a wedding?
rehearsal dinner and then like coordinating a wedding, kind of. I'm like announcing like the people coming out and like
Oh,
cutting the
fun.
cake and doing all that stuff. Yeah.
Because she's gonna be an event planter.
Planner.
Planner.
Oh, I also got
I was thinking about my cactus over here.
a
needs
job
water.
interview. I forgot about that. For,
Okay, you said you had like nothing this week, and
I
now
know.
like you have got
but
it.
everything
So how did the
happened
job
like
interview go?
yesterday. And
This is true.
Yeah,
Well, no, I got that
literally
haircut
all
on
of
Tuesday.
this. Oh yeah, but literally everything happened Friday. Watch, outfits, this job interview.
How did that go?
It was good.
Did you get the job?
I think so. I'm supposed to send her like my availability because I'm taking over for a girl who leaves for grad school at the end of April.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully I'll do that and I'll be able to do. They're not like super booked, so it won't be like a ton of work, but it'll be something.
Yes.
But I'm kind of like waiting to just see if my new business, this business will be booming, so I don't have to take this job.
Dude, I just gave you that idea last night.
I know. So, but
Okay.
I'm hoping people will advertise it. Like, my mom gave up social media for Lent, and Sunday is like
yes.
your break day. So I'm waiting for it to be Sunday so she can post it on her Facebook so all her friends can see it.
And like, help me out, guys.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, I think it'll get out there pretty quickly. And then we have so many events coming up here that you're helping me with posters
Right.
and stuff. So then you're going to have a lot more advertisement,
Yeah.
like material to
Right.
post to.
Yeah,
so, so that's good. But you could definitely get on that one that I need really soon. Need to post a picture of that one.
The spring one? Or
Yeah.
the
And
camping one?
yeah.
I was going to work on them.
There's another one, but I forgot to tell you.
Oh.
I'll tell you later.
What, is it for a month?
No,
Or is it
it's for the end of this month.
Oh.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Don't let me forget though.
Okay, I'll try to remember. I'll write it down. Okay, we're going to get into our topics because we literally talk so much. Let me write that down.
This is like serious week too. Again,
Yeah.
we had a good last week was leadership and volunteering and like how important it is together and how in order to be a leader, you really depend on your volunteers as well. So like how important they are also. And then just kind of what we thought our roles were in leadership and volunteering. So it was pretty serious too.
Yeah.
And so now we have another one this week that's going to be a good topic. You want to share it
Yeah.
or talk about it?
We're going to talk about doubt, which is kind of like depressing, but it's also,
We're going to find it some funny stuff
we're
in
gonna
it.
laugh. We're going to be great. Yeah, so we're just going to talk about like doubt, what we have had doubt with, how to understand doubt, how to overcome it, and how to like strengthen your relationship with God through doubt and that kind of thing. So we have a few little like things we're just going to talk about, like with
little
topics.
points and just something to help guide us to
Yeah.
stay on topic and not wander off into
Yeah, I'm sure we're still going to
Space.
wander off, but we'll try not to.
yes.
Okay.
So first is kind of like just a personal experience with doubt.
Yeah.
Do you have like have you ever struggled with doubt? Have you ever questioned like why or about anything between you can go from like biblically based or just an experience that you had
Yeah.
just doing something.
Sometimes, well, not sometimes. Oh, actually, sometimes. Hold up, my head just like was spinning.
You don't fall out.
No, I'm good. I just like
Okay.
said the same thing 4 times. Occasionally, if I'm doing something, like if I'm at church or I'm reading my Bible or something, I'll like have these like intrusive thoughts that creep in. It's like, is this the right religion? Like, am I following the right religion, Because it's like, there's so many other religions. Like, am I, like, is this the right one? And then I have to like reassure myself. The one that I always go back to, because Josh has spoken on this a few times, like how reliable, like, is our faith? And there's so many things.
Right.
And one of the ones is probably should have asked, but there's like so many manuscripts that like we rely on for the Bible that are like still proven and stuff to now. And like they don't teach about Jesus and that kind of thing in school, but they teach about Julius Caesar's, and there's like less than 20 or something manuscripts and writings about him, and we teach that as that happened at school.
Right.
But we don't teach about Jesus and his whole story. But there's like Like, it has the most, like, accountability and credibility than anything.
Right.
But we don't teach it. And so that's the first thing that I just kind of like, well, there's so much more than any other thing. So, like, that's, like, hard, cold facts that.
And we didn't write a book about it.
No.
That's for sure. Or make one up, you know. Mm-hmm. So.
And that, oh my gosh, you know, in Revelation, it says, if anybody adds or takes away from the book, their punishments. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people
in these books that they have, like, come up with or wrote themselves, or
they're gonna get it.
Like, yep,
yeah.
Because
but something else, something else like a little bigger that's not just like daily kind of stuff is when I had anxiety, like really bad 4 years ago, I was like questioning like why am I feeling this bad? Because it wasn't just like mental stuff. It was a lot of like I physically felt sick. Yeah. Like I would throw up a lot just from like nerves, just because I was so anxious. And so I was like, why is this happening? Because, you know, like I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I was really like into my word and reading the Bible. And I'm like, so why is this happening right now? And then
the devil like creeps in with those little.
Yeah. And then I went to counseling, and that was so great.
It is great, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm like such an advocate for counseling.
Know, yes.
I haven't actually gone personally, but I take all my foster kids to counseling, and it's wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, you go to counseling if you need it, Mo.
Yeah. And I learned so much about it that like I've still remember to this day. And I didn't go, I think I went for just like 6 to 9 months or something like that. And I still like have like the results of it now that I still remember and think about.
Yeah, because they give you a lot of like techniques on just how to cope too, or you know, like things for you to think about when you're in the heat of that moment or something too. So it is. I'm very supportive of counseling. So that's awesome that you did go for that as well. Do you know like what triggered some of it? Could you like pinpoint like this is what's making me
it was
nervous
when
or
I
anxious
first started when I went back to school, or like to public school in 8th grade, and then I think it was the summer before that, or that summer when I first went to youth group. And I've always been, not youth group wasn't bad, I was just young and I was like terrified of what people thought of me. And when I was little, I was like so
you were scared what people thought about you?
Yeah, when I was like in middle school.
Because now you're like, so I don't care.
But I was just so scared of older people and like teenagers, and like I could not talk to them. I just would get like so embarrassed, and so I did not want to go to youth because a lot of them like were so much older than me. There weren't people my age, and so I remember I didn't go to youth group for so many like Wednesdays. Like I just didn't go. I would either go to children's church or like go to Pastor V's class, just because I was just so scared. And like looking back on it, I'm like, that is ridiculous. Like I walk in there now with like my 14 cups, my lemon juice,
17
my hair
bags.
ain't been washed, like awful. And
in pajama pants leading worship on stage.
I don't wear pajama pants leading worship. That's Lila.
I'm just kidding.
And so it's just crazy to think about like how that's changed. And then going back to school, you know, I hadn't gone to public school since first grade, and in first grade, you know,
you were out that long?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just like middle school. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that can be like,
and I didn't have any like secular friends. The only friends I had were from co-op, and it was the same 6 people I'd grown up with my entire life. And they also went to church with me. So it was the same people.
Very close circle there.
So it was really, really, really hard, but I got through it, and we're good now.
Good. Well, and like I think a lot of it is like pinpointing what triggers that too, so that you know how to respond to it. You know what you're looking for when some of that doubt starts kind of coming in, and you know, like that sort of thing. Do you think that doubt is like a normal part of faith? Of your faith, especially? Like I mean, not that it's like if you're a Christian you're gonna have doubts, but it's just part of like the little checklist thing. But like it's bound to happen, like with anything. Like it's like worldly side is like,
Right.
we're gonna have doubt, we're gonna question things, because that's
Yeah.
just the human side of us.
And there's
too.
so many other things that we would doubt too, not just like our religion, because you know, I'm sure like as Christians at some point you've had like thoughts creep in or something that makes
Right.
you question something or doubt. But then also other things like well, am I supposed to, this is what y'all had said, like, am I supposed to go to college? And just y'all constantly bringing it up is making me like doubt, like, am I really
yes.
supposed to go?
And this has nothing to do with like this is just like an everyday life
Right.
question that we're asking
Yeah.
you, not like
It's not like,
should you follow Jesus or
Right.
not, and
Yeah,
you're doubting
yeah, yeah.
that. It's not
Uh-huh.
that. It's just truly like just an everyday
Yeah.
thing that's come up.
Yeah.
And I think that's happened sometimes with me too, of just like, this is gonna go back to church stuff, but it's just really like the job thing. Like, I doubted if I was like, are we really good enough to be in that position, in that new spot? Or sometimes I like think in my head, did I do the best I could on that hair? Like, I have doubt, but yet it was like probably my most beautiful work I've ever done, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, why are you creeping in like that? Get out of my head so that I can like be confident in what I just did.
Yeah.
Or in new position that I can be confident that like, yes, you called me to it, so therefore we can do it. But
Yeah.
it's still,
Yeah.
it still goes in there
When-
sometimes, and you're just like, no, get out.
Yeah.
Run.
When I've said this before, and Pastor V has quoted me.
He has,
But-
he gave it to us from the stage. I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah, but whenever I have like thoughts creeping in like that or anything, I can remember so many times where I'll just literally sit out and like make a list, or like I'll talk out loud and be like, okay, even if
Did you know there's a song?
really
Yeah.
no
About even like, remind me to share that with you, because
Okay.
there is one. It's like, it's one of those new Christian artists that sings it. Yeah,
didn't
it came
know.
across.
That's so cool.
On my playlist the other day.
Yeah.
and I was like, I need to text Mo, but I didn't. So sorry.
That's funny.
But I thought about this
Yeah.
exact scenario that you gave. So
That's so cool. And so the little like saying is, instead of what if, even if, and I have used that so many times, just with if I'm anxious about something, if I'm worried about what people are gonna think. Like, I remember in middle school when I was like, oh, like, what if people like look at me and think I'm so weird? And I can remember
y'all,
thinking
she
like,
is so weird though. So
and you're not.
nope, not me. See, I'm confident. I got no doubt in that. Just kidding.
You should be confident that you are weird.
Oh, yeah, I am. Never mind. I am confident in that. Very much so.
Yeah.
I got some doubt if you thought I wasn't weird.
Yeah.
But you're weird too, so that's good. That's why we're friends.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions on our.
Yeah, you know, we were the only two people that
Yeah.
responded to it.
That's why we're friends, and no one else is in the circle.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
have you ever struggled with doubt?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay, well, tell me why.
I mean, I feel like I kind of told you, like, just in doubt in general. Sometimes I do doubt if like my work is good enough at my job. You know, is it good enough for me to charge what I need to charge? Like, that's a constant thing that I battle with. Is like, everyone around me, I've been doing hair for 21 years.
Yeah.
Everyone around me charges like 3 times what I charge. So I constantly battle with like, I need to go up on some prices because everything has gone up.
Yeah.
But then I doubt like my worth is like, is my work good enough to go up?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's like a big one just in my everyday work world, is just, is my work good enough?
Yeah.
And I put a lot of effort and a lot of like, I want my hair people to look amazing. Well, obviously they do because they come back.
Yeah.
But you still like question that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think definitely that comes from like Satan putting that in my head. Am I worth it? You know, and I just have to constantly tell myself, not that I did a good job, but that looked really good. That looks just as good as someone who charged $250 for something.
You kind of have to like
And-
talk yourself up to
Yes. So that's kind of like how I feel like I do some of that. And then I guess like another situation too is like fostering. doubt, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Like on some mornings, like this morning, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
But and it was because it was triggered by a canceling of a visit of something that was like, took a lot of effort for me to get two special needs kids ready to go and leave for the day. And then it's canceled. And I'm like, I'm getting upset about something that is really not worth getting upset about. So, but then I'm doubting, like, why are we even doing this? But then I see two little faces that are looking back at me that are like, you're doing it for me. It's for me. I'm happy. I'm healthy and I'm safe. And so I'm reminded at that point of like, don't doubt it because you're called to it.
That's like that's like a good and easy reminder. Like whenever your things happen like that, like you always have those little babies to look at.
Yes. I got you.
Yep.
Sweetness. Little chunky, mushy
Snails.
things.
Her little slug.
Little slug. I have one that's a slug, y'all. He is so cute, but he'll like face plant on the floor and like inch his booty up in the air, and
like
he don't go nowhere.
Inchworm.
But more slug like, because he's kind of like fat and chunky like that. Yeah. One day, maybe one day you'll get to see him. One day, or if you like see me out and about, you'll see him.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to like understanding doubt. So, what do you have any for this one? Verses?
What does this Bible say about it?
Yeah.
Yes, actually I do.
Okay.
I think I read it to you right before. It's Matthew 28, 16 and 17. It says that even the disciples went to Galilee, to the mountains where Jesus had told them to go. And when they saw him, they worshiped him. But some still doubted him. Like if it was, is this him? Is this really what you say you are? Like we've been following you. We've seen we've seen you do miracles. But they still had doubt. And so it's like, it's okay to still have it, but they're seeing him right there again.
I mean, and that's something crazy to like it's valid that they were having those doubts because someone literally rose from the dead. That's insane. But that doesn't happen every day.
Yes, exactly. But I think too that they were like doubting because, okay, yeah, this is happening. We're seeing you perform miracles, but really, are you still who you say you are, or is it just like by chance that you know the guy that was like paralyzed is like up and walking, like is this just by chance? But then you get to see it, you see him, like, and they worshiped him, so I think that was just like one that came out to me, like even though we see things, it's still there, and it's okay to doubt in a sense, because like even the disciples, the people he chose, even had doubt. Yeah. But at the end of it, they knew, and I think that was, again, it was like Satan sliding in that doubt in their mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did you have some scriptures? I got a person.
Yeah, I have a person for the next one too. I have a few verses, or 2 verses I'm going to read. One of them, or both of them, I have read and like just really like had God on, as Pastor V would say.
Yes.
So the first one is James 1:6, and it says, "But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind." And that just makes me think, like, when you're a doubter, it's like you're not. It reminded me of like Peter is like the rock, that Jesus called. So it's like, it's kind of like I'm built on like the sinking sands. It like when I'm doubting, because I can just be tossed, like my house can just be like torn down because I'm not rooted in I'm not in a firm foundation that's Jesus. And I feel like you can look back and see that like in your life, like when I'm doubting, I'm so much more susceptible to like, oh, like maybe this sin is just okay this once, or maybe I can go like say this once, or hang out with these people just once, because like you just feel so bad about yourself, or you're worried, or you're scared, or you're doubting things. And that's not the case. We shouldn't be like that, but it's like, like that happens daily. Like that can happen to just anybody. And then
but I also feel like that that verse opens up. It says the tossing of the waves. Is that what it said? What'd you just say?
Because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by
Okay,
the
so and
wind.
I know you've seen it, and you guys have had to have seen this too. You see a wave turn over, and if you're ever seen, like, I watch weird documentaries, so you know, like, normally there's like a dolphin or a penguin flying out of this wave.
Yeah.
So it's tossing and it's turning underneath, and so like the sand is getting turned over, and so it's like when you doubt, you open up your mind for questioning of not just one question, but a million questions that can like flood in, and so it's almost like that sand and that ocean, like it's turning.
Constantly changing, moving.
Yes, because you
new
just
sand,
you
new.
opened it up. You didn't shut it down immediately.
Right.
So it's like he gives an example of like this is what is happening when you allow doubt to come into
Yeah.
your mind. And so it's like the perfect vision, you know,
Right.
because like you've seen a wave, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it like on a surfing documentary or like any. Of course, they're all documentaries.
Or like even like if you're at the beach, like you can see it. Or I'm sure like we've all lost something. Like I lost my sunglasses once, and it was like
there they
if I
went.
was in a pool, I could just reach down and grab them. But because of the waves, it's like they could be halfway to.
You ever boogie boarded and a
Yeah.
wave come over you? You were upside down,
Yeah.
or on a float, a little round float. There you
Yeah.
went.
Yeah. And then another one I had is Matthew 17:20, and it is, because you have so little faith, truly I tell you, if you have faith this small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible from you. And that just reminds me of, we can doubt, but doubt kind of makes me think it's like an absence of faith, whether it can be for a minute or a second or a day. It's you're allowing that doubt to come in your life, and so you don't have faith in Jesus for however that time period is. Because if we have faith and we're acting on it, then we know,
Then we
like if
lost
we
it.
really think about it, like we know that God has, like, he's got our back, and whatever our questions are, you know, God's going to answer them, and he has answered them. And that just, like, we have to take a step, and instead of going down the rabbit hole of like, oh, what if, like my life is just terrible, we have to go the other way. And then the more
Even
we
if.
turn in, and the more we turn into the wrongs part of just falling down the rabbit holes of destruction and depression and worried, then that's what we're going to keep doing every single time. And we're just
Yes.
going to go back to it because that's the easy thing. That's what we do. And even though it makes us miserable, it's what we've done last time.
But we just allowed the enemy to come in and steal all of your joy
Yep.
and happiness that you were going for with the things of God. Like we just opened the door and said, hey, come on in.
Yeah.
And
Because we weren't shutting down like the thoughts immediately as it happened.
yes.
Um,
But of course we are going to doubt. I don't want
Right.
it to be like, I don't want us to sound like you're never supposed to doubt anything of
I
Christ,
feel like
because
doubt is almost healthy, because then
Yes.
it makes you
'cause we
question.
dig deeper into
Right.
stuff. Like we just talked about
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
I know we just kind of answered another question that we had, but really it just
It's like
piggybacked off
doubting
this.
is questioning something because you're not secure in what you have. So like if I'm doubting that whether or not, you know, God is real or Jesus is real, then I'm questioning Jesus's existence and the Bible's existence and like our religion and everything. But then I can prove that, I can research and I can learn and grow, and I can be like, oh, there's hundreds of thousands of manuscripts and
Of
people
this.
who have, and scientists who know and acknowledge that Jesus was real and that all of this
Yes.
stuff happened.
But also because you have a foundation too. Because if you maybe come to church for one or two times, you don't have a good foundation yet. And so you could see where they would easily question and never come back to it.
They
also.
don't want to learn and grow deeper. No, like I have a foundation, like we have a foundation. So like we know.
Yes.
But it's like the little thoughts that creep in, and it's like we have to take the time to answer those, because if we don't, then one side of it is then like we're not necessarily like we're dumber. That's kind of like a strong word to use. But it's like
We use it.
we don't know that part of of the story or the questions. And then it's also, if somebody else asks you it, what are you going to say?
We want to be
You're
able to
gonna-
answer it. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and do
Right.
our little research on it
Yes.
first and find it. So doubt is also, I think, such a good thing because it allows us
To learn
as
and
Christians to
grow.
learn and want to grow more and
Yeah.
seek it. Like, let's find that answer, because if I'm thinking it, you're thinking it, or
Yeah.
someone else in the world is like thinking it too, and they're gonna need that answer.
Right.
Because they could be like that little baby Christian that needs it to grow but doesn't know where to find it, doesn't
Right.
know how to look for it.
Yep.
You know, and so it's
Yeah.
always, anytime we do have doubt, I do think it's good that we go ahead and and look for it so that we have an answer for the next person that comes along.
So the question is like, who in the Bible has struggled with doubt? So who's your person that you stole from me?
I know. I stole it from Molly, but mine was a different viewpoint, though.
Yeah, but it was still the same person. But it's fine.
Well, I have
another one.
You still share it, though, because your viewpoint is from a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you have a different take on it, which is good.
Okay.
Okay, so I picked Moses. God's calling required him to give up his normal life and accept a great risk. And he was like, God, did you choose the wrong man? Like, did you really mean to pick me? So we haven't really talked about this a lot on the podcast, but I lost a little boy to cancer. And I feel like it was such a great risk because we adopted a kid knowing that he had cancer, you know? And so it was like, okay, I'm willing to go for this because I feel like you called us to this kid, to this little boy, absolutely like a precious little boy. But that meant we were going to be willing to sacrifice having our normal life because we were going to go to chemo every week. We were going to be in the hospital for weekends at a time because we were admitted on a Friday and we left on a Monday. Like that happened for several months. We were willing to give up our normal life to take a kid who could possibly get sick like tomorrow, you know, because he could have a fever of 100.5 means you have to go to the hospital. Okay. Kids run that like every day. You know what I mean? Like that's a big deal in the cancer world versus not. And so I feel like that was like one of my top people when I was like looking through who had doubt. I'm like, so when my little boy passed away, I was just like, I was kind of thinking, we were in the hospital when he was really sick. I'm like, God, did you pick the wrong person to do this? Like, am I strong enough to literally hold a child while they leave this world? Like, I think you got the wrong person. Or did we do the wrong thing? Like, did you really call us to this? And we went with like our gut feeling of like, yeah, let's save this kid. Or did you really call us to him? And absolutely 100% he did. We were the right people. We were his mom and dad. Yes. He was the right kid for us. It was absolutely perfect. But there's that doubt of like, is this really what you called us to? And ultimately it was, and I knew that. Yeah. So Moses and his doubt. So that was kind of mine. You want to tell your take on, because you did say Moses first, and I was like, wait, there's this side of Moses though. Yeah. So what was yours with him? Oh, okay. Well, then I'm gonna share two because I had another one that I found that I liked too. Okay. So, my side of Moses that I thought of was he was so fearful, and I feel like fear and doubt kind of correlate because when you're fearful, like you're doubting. And vice versa, like you can, if you're fearful, you're letting the doubt in. And it kind of goes back to what you said, like the Bible says that Moses he wasn't the best public speaker, like he didn't speak very well. And his background was not typical. And so when God told him through a burning bush that he needed to go tell Pharaoh to let his people go, he was like, what? Like, why did you choose me to do this? And then he just let, like what you said, like the fear creep in because he was like, why should I do this? Because he didn't have faith in that moment. And it was like, because he was doubting, he had a lack of faith. But then he did it. And, he knew that, like, this is why God called me to do this. And he did it. And so then another one I saw was Zechariah. Because, and I thought this is kind of like what we were joking about earlier. But Zechariah, him and his wife Elizabeth, their son was John the Baptist. John the Baptist did so many things for the world, for Jesus, for everything, but also doubted too. And so Zechariah and Elizabeth, weren't they promised a child, like that they were going to have a kid, but they were so old. Yeah, they were really old, and then they got pregnant. I'm thinking about Abraham and Sarah. But yeah. Oh, yeah. They were really old. And then they got, Elizabeth got pregnant. And Zechariah doubted. And he was like, what? Like, there's no way that, like, we're going to get
pregnant and like he's gonna do the great things he said he did. And so God was like, you doubt me, then you're gonna get shut up and you ain't gonna get to talk for 9 months. And that was kind of like what we were saying earlier about like, you know, like God's plan is the right way, and if you don't follow it, there's gonna be consequences.
Yes. We were talking about some serious consequences. He brought you in.
He can take you out. Yep. Yes. And so that just kind of, you know, not every day right now, you know, if we don't follow God's plan, which we don't, you know, a lot of the time we make the wrong choices.
Right.
He doesn't take our ability to talk, or he doesn't strike us dead in the middle of our day. But it made me think of, like, am I following God's plan for my life, or am I like Zechariah? Like, it was so clearly seen in his story when we read it time and time again. Like, duh, like he's got you. Like, why are you gonna question or doubt this? Because like he's God, like he's got this. And you know, it can be like, well yeah, but like God's not gonna do something so great and powerful and moving, like I'm gonna birth the Messiah or something like that. But it's like, that's just a few people in that time. You know, there were thousands of other people in the Bible, in the world, and in that time, who weren't written about in the Bible, and who didn't strike a giant down, who weren't in the den of a lion, but they still had
belly of a whale.
But they still had real doubts and real struggles.
Right.
But, you know, did they or did they not trust God's plan? And so that's important, that, you know, your doubts may not be something big like birthing the Messiah, or like fighting a giant, but they're still, you know, like your doubts are there, and you got to work through them, and you've got to answer the questions that your doubts bring up.
Yes.
So do you think doubting is a sign of weak faith? We've kind of talked about this, how we think of doubt and how we learn from it.
And I would say no, because even the disciples, his chosen people that he
who
picked,
literally
like,
walked with Jesus,
leave your stuff and come with me, and they did. But even they doubted. So I think that it's not a sign that our faith is weak. If anything, it's going to help us build on it. Like, I mean, we talked about that. And I think that it can actually, it says, or can it strengthen your relationship with God? So like, absolutely 100%, because when I'm in a hospital room with my child, I am actually like, I feel like I was so in the word during that time, because I had doubt, that it strengthened my relationship like so much. I mean, like more than I could have ever imagined.
And then now you still have the repercussions from that, of like the things you learned and like God taught you in that time, and you can apply it to your life now.
And that he was literally with me in that hospital room, you know? And so as much as I was doubting, there was a peace that like consumed that room that day. And so it's like, yeah, I think that it truly can strengthen your relationship with God. So, I mean, do you agree?
Yeah,
with
I
that?
agree. I love everything you said.
Oh, thank you. Those were my words.
Yeah.
Came straight from my brain.
They did. All right, let's move on to...
They really are. I didn't just
they
like
are.
make that up.
No. Okay, let's do overcoming doubts. We've done our personal doubt, understanding doubt, which is kind of like we talked about the Bible, and is it a sign of weak faith? And it's not. And now we're going to talk about overcoming doubt. So what are practical ways that we can deal with spiritual doubt, or you have dealt with doubt?
So like digging into the word more is a practical way to deal with it. Praying, like asking God to either use someone or give me what I need from the Bible to look at, to know that is it. But I think praying a lot, it can really give you peace of whatever that doubt is to you.
And prayer is so powerful, because most of the time when I pray, it's like I'm out loud saying it. And when I'm saying it out loud, it's scary, but it's also refreshing that I'm saying it out loud, and it makes it so much more real. Like God, I'm doubting. I'm questioning your existence. Like, is this the real? Like, show me ways that this. Right. And sometimes, like when you say it out loud, you can kind of.
You're hearing it too, and so it's like registering. It's putting you like in your place in a way. Like if it's just kind of like with me, like sometimes I'll just think of like, oh, is this really like the right religion? Then it's kind of like if you say that out loud, it just sounds kind of
like irrelevant.
Like silly. Did I just really ask myself?
Right, because there's so
right
many
thing?
things. Yeah. And so that's like something great, like praying. And then also it's like you're praying, so you're telling God, and so he can.
And it's our communication with him on like, help me understand this more.
Yeah. A way I have like dealt with spiritual doubt is a lot of times I have just texted like Avery or Aaron, and I'm like, I'm having a really hard time like finding a way to, like, I'm just kind of doubting right now, and I'm not really sure like what I need to do. I'm trying like to read my Bible, but nothing's really clicking. And then one time I remember I texted Erin, and she was like, that's crazy that you just texted me. I just got out of that season. And so she was able to give me
here's a whole bunch of
gave me
scripture
all this stuff, and it was just so crazy that like in that moment. And then a few weeks later it was something else about like I was struggling to really get in the word and like understand it. And I text Avery, and she was like, I'm in the same place right now. Like I feel like I've just been so distant from reading my Bible. And she was like, I feel bad that I haven't read it. I was like, I feel the same way. And so we were just able to like talk and like get through it.
And then you probably end up in the word together.
Right.
At some point too. So that kind of goes to like the next question that we had got down was like, what roles do mentors, pastors, or trusted friends play in navigating your faith struggle? So like there was yours right there too. Like you do have this amazing group of friends that you can send these kind of messages to, or you can write a weird, like questionable letter to just like, is this right? Is this really what I'm supposed to be believing?
Then you wake up the next morning and realize that was
never
dumb.
Mind, I do know. I got the answer to that. And like one of my ways is like Josh and I are just riding down the road, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what this means. Like, just go ahead and explain it to me a little bit more, instead of even allowing myself to be like, that don't sound right. Like, that sounds a little odd. Or this is a weird situation. Like, what's happening? I'm like, you know what, Josh, let's just go ahead and talk about it and get it out here. And then you give me your viewpoint on it, and I'll tell you where I was thinking on it. And then, a lot of times you end up taking what you hear from other people. That's just a journal thing. It's like somebody said words stick harder, longer, whatever. What's that saying? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like, sticks and stones will break my bones. That way.
What?
Yeah, never mind. Well, anyways, words just stick more, especially from your friends.
Okay.
If I said, Molly, your hat's ugly, you would probably not wear it tomorrow.
No, I wouldn't. I don't care.
Oh, gosh. Her whole thing has changed since middle school. Yeah. Coming into youth group. I'm just kidding. I love your hat. I think it's adorable.
Thanks.
I wish you would have made me one.
Yeah.
When you made that one, but that's okay. Could have got me a green one. But it's cool.
Put a tractor on it?
No. Do I look like a tractor girl?
Green is just like John Deere.
I don't want that one then. Never mind. I'm glad you didn't make me one.
Okay. Next is faith versus feelings. I feel like that's, doubts that we have all had at some point. So what's something you do? So have you ever felt like not close to God? Like, where you just feel like kind of distant?
Like, I'm just here. Yes, I will tell you that. Okay, when we have been so crazy, like our week has been nuts. I haven't been in my Bible. Work has been stressful. I've had 9 million medical appointments. I've got foster kids that are like throwing up, and I've got
just a podcast to film.
Yes, and like
children's church to do.
Yes, no, all that stuff's great. But like when I just have like a crazy busy week, by the end of it, I'm like, I am mentally drained. And I think some of that is because like there was no space for
like you didn't make
I didn't make space for that. And
then you see the result of not getting your word.
And so there was a distance there, and like I'm like, how did I even survive the week? Like, oh my gosh, this is awful. So I think that was
So what do you do when you don't feel close to God? It's like at the end of that week, like what do you do?
Like, all right, come, I'm reading my Bible first thing in the morning again. Like, got to get back in there. Like, and it's odd because you can really see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then also like when we were reading the Bible every morning, or that was my goal for the new year. I was like, I had told Josh this several times. I'm like, why is everything like crashing down around me? And I think some of that was like, I am making a point to put God first thing in the morning too. And I think that was me just seeing like feeling like stuff was going wrong because I was doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ever thought, has that ever happened?
Yeah.
And so, but I just feel like I can tell that my week could have been mentally smoother had I made time to be in the Word more.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm just like, it's just too busy, you know, and I hate to say that because I'm like on camera saying I'm too busy to be in God's Word. And it's not, it wasn't that. It was just like my mind was exhausted. I was exhausted from work, doing all the kid stuff, you know, just all the stuff of that week when I should have got up 10 minutes earlier and been in the Word first, you know?
Yeah.
So does that answer the question that you had for me? Okay.
I kind of do the same thing, like read the Bible. I like to talk to my friends, especially Avery, because we have like our Bible studies and stuff. If I'm feeling any kind of like not close to God or doubting, I'll just call Avery and I'll be like, Ave, I need some help. And then she'll be like,
did you read this week?
And I feel like we're accountable with that because sometimes I remember around Christmas, when Christmassy season started, we were doing our Bible study and we just sat down and we were like, did you read? We were like, no.
And you had nothing to bring to the table.
And
nothing
so we were both like, we were in that. And so then it was like, oh, like we reaped the percussion. How do you say that word?
Percussions.
We reaped.
Or is that the instruments?
We reaped the repercussions. The repercussions.
I'm thinking some chimes that we do.
The repercussions of not reading our Bible. My dad says that word all the times. The repercussions of us not reading our Bible is we didn't grow. We didn't learn
You brought
anything.
nothing to your Bible study. You had nothing to offer. And so you realize the importance of that. Yeah. Because what if she had? And then you would have been sitting there like, right. You know, like,
yeah, that's happened a few times a few years ago. Gosh, we've been doing this Bible study a long time. I remember the book that we had, it was a lot of reading the Bible and it was just very overwhelming to me. And so I didn't take the time to really sit down and do it. And so I remember I would go and I was like, I did not read today. But they had, and I would just be like, ugh, like I just feel like such a failure because I didn't do anything and they had, and then that kind of propelled me, like that feeling of like, oh, like I didn't do anything made me like the next week like, okay, every day I'm gonna do a little bit, like I'm gonna do a little bit so I can get it done,
because we don't want to have that feeling either, right? That's honest of like, I didn't
like you let people down. And it's like a Bible study, but you're not like, you might as well just not came, but not really, because you still learn from talking to them, but it's like, why didn't you? So how do you maintain faith when life feels unfair or God just seems silent?
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about this when I saw the question too. Okay, so I'm going back to my little boy again because this is just like where all my doubt ever, my whole life ever came in was at this moment. Okay, so just to be completely honest with you, I was like, God, this is so unfair. I have a child who was an orphan, diagnosed with cancer, who was dying at age 4. Like that just seemed so unfair to me. Like why like it. You can't make it make sense, you know? But I knew that there was a greater purpose for all of that. And it's so strange because it took a long time to see that, many years to get to that point. But I did maintain my faith because I knew that it was only going to be God who got us through that desert mountain climb, whatever it was. You know, like it was gonna take him, but then to, as much as I thought it was unfair at the time, because of that and us experiencing that, we are a medically fragile foster home. We have been able to love kids who didn't have somebody, all because of a little boy who took us through the worst of things, of like, we experienced the worst. There's nothing worse than that. And so it's like, now I'm like, God, thank you for that opportunity, because it was absolutely amazing to be able to walk with him through all of that and to experience growth with you during that season, but to also open up doors later on in our life that we get to serve kids, even to this day, all because of a little boy that we adopted almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It's been 10 years.
Wow.
His birthday's this month.
Oh.
Yes.
Really? What's this month?
He's going to be 14. Isn't that crazy? Like, can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I told Josh that all the time. I'm like, can you imagine him being 14? Yeah, we'd be in trouble. Because he'd just run the roost, you know? He'd be in charge.
Yeah.
With his little Hispanic accent telling us all. We don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're just like,
okay.
see. I'm just kidding. So did that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have?
Yeah, so I have something, and it's kind of like depressing, like yours.
Oh, mine wasn't depressing because mine came out good.
Yeah.
At the end. So is yours?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, it's not necessarily okay. So just listen. Okay.
Yes, I got
so
you.
it's not necessarily about me, but I just remember this happened, and it's just like stayed with me. So whenever the Cloudus boys went home, whenever y'all drove them back, for some reason I was the only one at my house, and
have you ever told me this?
no.
Oh. Okay.
And for some reason, I don't know why, but I was the only one at home. You know, like it was nighttime whenever you brought them back. And you had texted me like a picture of them when y'all left and then like when you got there. And I remember I have a journal a few years ago because I had filled up my other one and I meant to bring it. But I remember I felt like I was so sad for y'all because I was like, they're such good people. Like, why do they have
Yes.
Oh, I didn't want to cry.
Yeah,
like,
don't
why
cry.
are they
You're
going
fine.
through this?
These are foster kids that we had for
Yes.
3 years that we got as a 4-month-old baby and left at 3.5.
Yes.
So this is who she's talking about, kids that we had for 3 years.
Yes.
Like, I did good not crying with my kid, my main one. And now you're going to bring up some foster kids that I had for 3 years that like stole our hearts. But that's okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
And so I remember it was, you know, like it was nighttime and I just was thinking like, why, like God, like there's a song by, it's called, the name of the song is Why God. And that song I just liked a lot. And the first line of it, like, is why God do people fall apart? And it's just like all these things, like why do like people die? Like why do people leave? And it's just like listing all these things. And so I remember during that time, like it was the whole time y'all were driving up there, I have a
3
journal.
hours.
Yeah. I have like 7 pages of a notebook that's like prayers and scripture and like worship songs that I was like writing down and like praying over y'all because I was like,
Why have you never told me this?
because it's sad and I don't want to think about it.
Oh my goodness. All right. Now
And
you have to
so-
like, let me see it.
And I remember I was sitting in my living room because like again nobody was home, and so I had worship music turned on like really loud, and I was just like walking around like praying and singing and just like screaming some because I was like mad and upset,
Yes.
but then I was also like crying because I was like, ugh, like this is, and I was just like, I know like you have a greater plan for this, and like through that I can look back and see like this was such a
Yes.
bad thing that happened, but
do you know we took them home and 7 days later we picked up Messiah? Did you know that?
No, I didn't realize
Yes.
it was that close together.
Yeah. Like we got the phone call because we took them home on like a Friday, and then we went to youth camp that Monday.
Yes.
We got the phone call from Messiah the next day.
And you picked him up on the way home.
We picked him up on the way home from camp. So
Wow.
it's like, so there's your greater thing that it's like, it doesn't always happen, you know, but
Right.
there's another, we had another purpose for another little boy.
Right. That needed you in that.
Because their mom was well enough for them to come home.
Right.
And then there was the next little one was waiting for us.
needed y'all.
And yeah, I can't believe I didn't tell you that either. But you
I
didn't tell me this. So
Yeah.
I could have told you like there's something good coming.
Yeah.
Just wait. But I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
So one day you're gonna let me see this, right? Or did you throw it away?
no, I keep all of my journals. I have like a lot. I went through all of my journals other and cleaned off my bookshelf. I have like 7 like prayer journals, like Bible note journals of like sermons and stuff.
Yes, and I love that you kept them.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Sometimes, like, when the other day I was reading through them and some of the stuff was sad, I was like, nope, we're not reading that because I don't want to cry. And I just, like, shut it and move on to
We're just
something
move on
funny.
to something else.
Yeah.
So why did you feel that it was unfair? Or, like, were you like, God, where are you? Why are you not listening to me when you're
Yeah. Because,
allowing these people to hurt like this, for them to lose? Like, the
Yeah.
kids lost stability, too, you know?
right.
Like,
And I kept going back in that moment why it felt like so unfair. And it wasn't even like to me unfair. It was just like, it was like I was grieving like with y'all and because of them.
well, you care about
Yeah, I know.
too,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
But it wasn't like, yeah. Anyways, and so I remember.
So did you ask God like the hard questions?
Yes.
Like,
I was like, Stevie is like Coda's mom. Like, that's the only like mom that he knew, and like you're taking that away from him. Like, how is that
Yes.
like fair? And like, why does that make sense? But then it's like God's plan is so much greater, and so it's
like I question that too. I'm like, why did you allow? Because I felt like the birth mom almost in sense of like abandonment. I'm abandoning this child.
Right.
I literally
And he didn't
left him on the
know.
front porch and he was standing at a door screaming, calling for mommy. And I just had to get in the car and drive off. And so even I was like, why? Why did you even put him in our life for this moment to happen? And I have no idea, but they were there for a purpose and a reason.
yeah,
So it was very unfair.
yeah.
But there was a reason and a purpose. I haven't completely found that one out yet. I fell in love with autistic kids because one of them was autistic, and like they're so cool. They're so brilliant.
They're so sweet.
They're amazing. Like they are.
Yes.
And so that goes to the next thing. It's okay to ask those hard questions.
Yeah.
Like I told you how unfair it was that I thought an orphan got cancer and died. Like that is so unfair to me. Like that does not make sense. But it does when I tell you the end picture 10 years later. It not that it justifies what happened, but God used the sin of the world and the brokenness of it to make something beautiful. As 23 special needs kids have passed through my home and have had the love of Jesus and a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
And so, but I do think it's okay for us to question,
Yeah.
like because we need to know why sometimes, like why did you allow this to happen? Why did you why me, like why did you pick me to like almost suffer the loss of all of these kids or you know whatever it may be? And so I feel like it makes us grow deeper if we have that foundation, because I've seen people in the hospital rooms, because we were on the bone marrow transplant floor, and there was 10 families, and there was a mom, I'll never forget this day, there was a mom in the hallway screaming, who is holding my baby now? She didn't have the foundation of Jesus, of Christ, of knowing God, because if she did, she wouldn't have been screaming, who is holding my child now? She would have known he is in the Father's arms, he's whole, he's healed. And so that could have easily been me, you know, and it wasn't, because I stayed so rooted in the scripture during those doubtful moments. And I hated it for her. It like broke my heart too, because I just wanted to be like, your baby is he's just healed, you know, he's perfect, you know, and then you've got to give your life to Jesus so you see him again. You're like, that's what you want to say, but I'm just trying to hold it together in my own room. So I didn't do it, so I missed an opportunity. But I think that moment was a little intense to be like, hey, it's never the wrong time, but I was just so focused on my child at the moment.
So let's go on to like our last little headline topicy thing of how to strengthen our relationships with God. And so how can doubt, I mean, we've kind of, I guess we'll skip that one since we've already talked about it a few times.
Yes.
So do you have any scriptures or books you've read that have helped you in moments of doubt, or like things that you've told yourself? We kind of mentioned it in the beginning.
Yes. I've mentioned this on our reading stuff too. I didn't write this down, but there was a book that I got that says pray first. Not second. Don't worry first. Don't have anxiety. Don't stress about something, but pray first. And so I think that and it had lots of like amazing points. Like it was actually a really good book. It's Pray First, in case anybody wants to read it. And I think that is like the biggest thing when you're doubting. Go straight to the Father. Go straight to like talking to him.
And the more you do that, I've seen that in my own life. Like the more your first resort is prayer, then that's like you're gonna do that every single time before you even have time to
make it
that
a habit,
anxious pit in your stomach, or you worry, or you're fearful, or you're scared about something. You're just gonna pray first, and you're gonna give it to God, and that'll change your attitude. That'll be like a light to everyone around you. Like, oh, instead of freaking out, I remember this on the way to Barnabas, because, everybody was just so, like, scared of, like, what we were doing. We had no idea. And for some reason, the Lord gave me some peace from God, because everybody was like, and I'm pretty
if
sure
Molly's okay, we're good.
Literally, I'm sure Josh was like because we're kind of the same like that. Like, we're a little like freaking out because we don't know the plan, but like he didn't show
planners.
it. But I remember like two of my friends, or one of them, they were freaking out. Like, they were just asking all these questions, and I was like, I don't know, but like God brought us here for a reason. I was like, He brought us all the way out here 14 hours to Missouri,
and 2 days later, and some crazy hotel rooms.
Yeah, it's for a reason. He didn't just drag us out here for nothing.
Yes.
And through that, like, I learned that like He's my provider. Like, every day He provided me just enough for what I needed. If I didn't get to eat, He like gave me some spiritual food that I needed.
Get you through.
And He gave me friends like when all of mine left.
That pulled together and like supported you. Not even like your friends from our youth camp,
because they weren't.
It was like
I was completely alone, and I made new friends.
Yes, so proud of you for that one. And so that was like so awesome that you were so calm, because Molly's the one that will ask like a million questions and like, oh, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that? You mean I've got to like wipe somebody's butt? Like, she would ask that question, but she was confident and she knew that she could do it because He equipped her. Right. And she was ready. And I love that. You better be ready this time too, because I'm going to be the first timer and I might be a little nervous about just like how to help y'all. But also this is like probably one of my most favorite verses, because I am an adoptive mom. I love James 1:27. And it's truly like the call to look after orphans and widows and their distress. Yes. And so when I was doubting all the stuff with my kid with cancer, or I'm doubting a foster kids leaving and going home, like, why did I sign up for this grief and this loss that I'm going to experience? Like, why did I sign up for it? And that is always my reminder. He called us to care for the orphans and the widows in their distress. And so I've had opportunity to do that. And it's like, all right, He called me to it. He's equipping me for it. And if I got a little ounce of doubt, I better let it go, because He's right there with me the whole way. Yeah.
One of the verses that I have it written in the front of my Bible too, and I have under like the verses, it's Philippians 1:9-11, and I have under that in the front, it says like to read or to pray like whenever you're lost or confused. And like you could also apply that to like doubting, like if you're doubting. And this is my prayer. And so Paul wrote this while he's sitting in a jail cell. And it says, and this is my prayer, that your love may abound more and more in knowledge and depth of insight, so that you may be able to discern what is best, and may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ, filled with the fruits of righteousness that comes through Jesus Christ, to the glory and praise of God. And so, like, to break it down a little bit, it's like you want your love, gosh, I keep hitting this, you want the love that like I show to people to abound more and more, like in knowledge and in depth, so that people can just feel the love of Christ through me loving them. Yes. And that I may be able to discern with the Holy Spirit, like what's best, like what decisions I should make, what's pure and blameless for me to follow and to do. And that's such an important thing, to make the right choices day to day, because it's not like God wrote down on the March 3rd, 2025, you're going to turn left to the stop sign and, do this. It's like you kind of have to have that, like the Holy Spirit is telling you, and you have to discern from which choices to make. And then that I should be filled with the fruits of righteousness, like the fruits of the Spirit that comes through Jesus Christ, that He showed while He was on earth. And so like you can just pray that, like, Lord, like let your love abound like through me, so people can see it's helped me to act like the fruits of the Spirit. And that's just kind of like a simple thing that covers like all your bases. Like, let me be kind and patient, and like the fruits of the Spirit, like let me have the fruits of the Spirit. That's kind of like sums it all up there. And that's just something like so great and special to pray. And sometimes when I'm doubting, I'll also pray Philippians 4:6, 7, and 8. And to summarize, it's like 6 is to pray, like make your requests known to God, and 7 is a promise. the promises that the peace of God, which transcends all understandings, will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. And then 8 is like how to put that into practice, to think about whatever's true, whatever's noble, whatever's right, and all those things. And to think about those, and that, oh my gosh, learn that in counseling, guys. It's a good one. And I've been able to use that, what I've learned, and I've shared it in Bible studies. One time, the first time that I ever shared this, I remember it was a Bible study with the people that I didn't really know very well, but Aaron was in it, and I said that because we were reading through Philippians, and everybody, like, wrote it down as soon as I said it. They're like, dang, that's good. And they wrote it down. They're like, can you repeat that? I was like, oh, sure. I didn't realize, like, this would apply to everybody else's life, too. Not just mine.
Absolutely.
And so that was, I love Philippians. It's my favorite book of the Bible.
Yes.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was good.
So it was so good.
It's a good topic.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't cry.
No.
My husband told me I was going to cry.
And it wasn't for what he said.
Wrong. I know. Yes. All right. Ready?
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to Godly Giggles. We hope that you had a great time with us, and hopefully you didn't cry, because that would be so sad. But we hope you laughed, because it's called Godly Giggles.
Yes.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and Spotify. And if you need a balloon arch or a banner, you hit me up on Instagram, okay?
Or you need a haircut.
Yeah.
I'm your girl.
Georgia hair, yes. Okay, and we will see you guys later. Bye.
Yes, bye.